What's going on, guys? So today I'm going to be making a video on how to transplant a fig tree. We recently just transplanted this entire orchard. Didn't realize how big this tree was behind us, so we're going to be showing you guys basically how we did it, how we moved all these trees over here. One of them we did actually do by hand, and it was kind of a pain in the butt. The others we had some help, but we're going to be showing you in this video how to do it by hand. So stay with us and we'll show you. Alright, so I'm going to show you some of the tools that if you have them will make your life a lot easier. If you don't have them, there's some other options I'll give you. So the first tool that I'm going to tell you about is our Sawzall. This is just a basic power tool. It is used to cut some of the roots that are really hard to get at. Really works well. It'll save your back, it'll save your hands. Just a good all-around tool. The main tool that you guys are going to use are your pickaxe to kind of get around the tree, your shovel, and then if you don't have one, I highly recommend a pry bar. So this pry bar you can use to leverage your tree out. But before you get started, you need to do one thing. Dig the hole that you're going to be putting your transplanted tree into before you dig it out. Otherwise the tree will be sitting without root protection, and depending on your elements, like if you're from where I'm from in Arizona, you'll cook your roots. It's a nice moist day today, so it probably wouldn't kill my tree, but I want to give this tree the best chance. It's already been transplanted once, so I want to make sure that it's going to be healthy and happy. Okay, so the first step then is going to be digging this thing out. Like I said, this tree has already been transplanted recently, but the exact same thing applies. So we're going to be lifting it out with my tractor when we're done, just because I don't have my two teenage boys here to help me lift it and I have a hernia. But if you don't have a hernia and you're strong, you could probably lift it up by yourself, just depending on how big the tree is. If you're talking about the one behind me, there's no way you're lifting that. So start off by just digging around the tree to try to expose the roots. Let me move the camera so you guys get a better view of this. So now is the part where you'll be kind of going around and all right, let me take a couple steps back. All right, so this is where you would, after you've pried it, you would then try to tip it and expose your roots. And then any large roots that are hard to get at, you would come in and cut them. You can even see where I did cut some previously. Try to keep as much as the root ball intact as you can, because the more roots you keep, the better chance you have of keeping the tree alive. And there we go. Now the roots are exposed. I'm gonna lift this up with a tractor and I'll show you guys better. All right guys, so I have my root ball here. Luckily, I'm able to show you guys this nice view that you probably wouldn't have been able to see otherwise. But this actually has quite a bit of nice established roots. You can see kind of the top layer is right here, and all of this below is a nice healthy root system. So I didn't have to cut much of the roots. Some of them came out nicely when I pulled it. The reason you guys saw the pickaxe over there was because if the ground is hard, you can use it to break it up. I know I didn't show you in this, but I did use it an awful lot when I originally dug this out before I was taking it out of soft ground like you were showing me. So then this tree would have been probably a just fine of a size for a normal person to lift up, but work smarter, not harder, right guys? So I'm gonna be putting this over here in the ground. I'm gonna try very hard when I'm putting it in the ground to actually get it about here, up to the, like when it goes into the ground, so that it's above the grade slightly. Fig trees do handle that well, other fruit trees do not. So make sure that you know what kind of fruit tree you're planting and don't just do a plant haul. If you guys are noticing like the background behind me, the trees are bared, I'm actually in the winter time. The best time to do this is not the dead of winter when I'm doing this right now, but you do want to try to do it when the tree is dormant. And what I mean by dormant is the tree has lost its leaves. Figs are a deciduous tree. When they do go dormant, they've got less activity and more of their energy is put into their root system for survival. So it's a good time to be able to plant them and not put them into shock. Shock is what probably your biggest enemy is when planting one of these things. So if you're in Arizona, fall and winter, you can plant all day long. It's probably not gonna harm anything. If you're a place that gets a lot of heavy frost and snow, you know, low temperatures below 15 degrees on a regular basis, you're probably gonna wanna do this in the fall. Give your tree as much time as possible in order to establish itself. I'm in zone 7A, and 7A is kind of right on the border of whether a lot of these trees could be in the ground. My lowest recorded temperature last year here, I know because I leave for work about 4 in the morning, it was 8 degrees. So 8 degrees is the coldest it's seen out here on this property, which is still pretty dang cold. Most fig trees can survive without much protection up to 8 degrees. I'm not 8 degrees, 15 degrees, but the roots can survive much colder than that. So that's why it's important that we make sure that we're getting these in the ground and letting them establish. So I'm gonna show you guys the hole we dug for it, and we're gonna plant it over there. Okay, as you guys can see, this thing is in a square hole. Now, I've talked about square holes a lot in my video. If you look at the original shape when I had it up on the tractor, you could tell that the root system was kind of round. And that's because usually trees are planted in a round pot and placed in a round hole, and they don't have a place for the root system to come back, like to hit. So they just continue going down that round hole in that system. So I plant a square hole in order to avoid the roots kind of getting bound up. And right now, what you see me doing is I still have the fig tree being held up by the tractor. So it's being held up straight. And I'm getting around the bottom of the fig tree because I do not want there to be air gaps in this tree when it starts settling, that it'll cause pockets for water to get in, create rot. It's not good for trees. Fig trees are pretty robust, but even still, I don't want to risk it. So I'm going around this thing and making sure that we're in good shape here. So there's some chunks that got grass in it. It'll be good to kind of fill in some of these areas, because I do not want air pockets. Okay. All right, now I'm going to lower it down a little. Now you know what, I got some air pockets still over here. All right, everybody, so that was my video on how to transplant a fig tree. It's not a very hard process. You guys can see that it's sitting in grade. Once the rain and dirt settles, it will settle a little bit more, which is why I have it just about even, if not a little lower than grade right now. I really want these roots to be protected. This is a tiger fig, not an LSU tiger, but a tiger panache. It's a variegated variety with a berry center. It's a very unique looking fig and a pretty good tasting fig at that too. I'm not even sure if it'll grow here, but I've always wanted one. We had some in Arizona growing, but they never got big enough to fruit, but I was able to get some from Queen Creek Tropicals to try, and they were delicious. So we'll see how it does here. I am going to winter protect it, just give it as big of a chance at surviving here as I possibly can. So hopefully you guys enjoy this video. Please subscribe. We're we have a lot of fun making these videos, and we appreciate the support, and that's how you show your support, is subscribing to the channel. So we'll catch you on our next video. Probably gonna have a lot more fig videos to come. All right, bye.